The views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the assumptions, views, opinions, and insinuations made by the host and guests do not reflect those of the show, the management, and the network. In addition, all copyrighted material is used without permission and will be removed with notification from the rightful owners or their agent. So there.
From the deepest depths of the interweb to all the ships at sea.
You found Just Killing Time on Radio TFI.
John Shannon, Bill Fancher, Ed Van Ness. Join the conversation. You can reach the guys at 754-800-CHAT, 754-800-2428. On social media, search for Radio TFI USA. From a payphone, call collect.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
My fellow Americans, our long national nightmare is over.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard. You're catching Just Killing Time here on the Radio TFI streaming network. Not going to be on the radio. We're just going to do this through YouTube. So that's just the way it's going to go. Hey, Ed and Bill are out on assignment today. It looks like apparently they have to do something with the ballot boxes here in a couple of weeks. So they're out on assignment. Y'all are stuck here with me for this again. So welcome aboard. We're happy. I'm happy you decided to ride solo with me here. So I will have a couple things to talk about here in the in this little bit of time we're going to spend together. I'm not 100% sure how long we're going to go. Might be an hour, might be a couple hours, who knows? I just don't know. We're not going to have a lot of the stuff that Ed brings to the table here, so unfortunately. So it's just going to be you and I, as it will be. So me and my stroke-ridden body, well, yeah, look at that still. Oh, God, folks, do yourself a favor. Take care of yourselves. Don't let this happen to you. You know, don't, whatever you do. You know, if you're smoking, stop. If you're drinking, if you're gonna drink, do so in moderation. If you're gonna, if you're eating, make sure you're eating stuff that's healthy for you. Take the medications you're supposed to take. But goodness gracious, you absolutely need to take care of yourself. So don't wind up with like this, still in the wheelchair and all that happy stuff. So, well, by the way, if you didn't know by now, it's Sunday. Oh, look at that! See, tells you. Look at that. Take care of yourself. It's Sunday. It's the 6th of. Excuse me, I'm wrong. It's the Oh, third. That's what it is. The 3rd of November. You're wondering what that is. I got an alert says telling me I'm too sweet. How about that? Too much coffee cake. They were asking me about that last week. It happened. I get an alert on my phone when that happens every once in a while. But anyways, so I want to talk to you a little bit about the election, the upcoming election. I hope you're planning, if you haven't already got to the polls or got to your ballot mailed in or whatever, however it is you decide to do it. I I hope you get her done. Get to the polls. I think anybody that knows me well enough knows who I'd like you to vote for. But that's not important as it is. I want you to at least vote. This needs to be settled. This has been a rough election year, if you will. A lot of crap coming down. Uh, Donald Trump talking a bunch of crap and what have you, and he has managed to draw Kamala Harris into it, Joe Biden even. It's been a hell of an election cycle here, and it's important that this gets worked out, that we get the results and what have you here. And I, as you probably know, I have my opinion on who it is I want to win this election. That's no secret. I will be. My plans are to go out on Tuesday in my trusty little wheelchair here and go to the local high school and going in and casting my vote. I'll be doing my part in that. If you don't vote, you really don't have any reason to complain. Let's put it that way. You just don't have any reason to complain. If you haven't voted, that's you have nobody to blame but yourself. That's all I can say. Hopefully you get out there and make your voice heard. I believe in the elections system. I believe the elections the elections that gave us Joe Biden as president, they were done fairly. Um, I don't think there were any irregularities. I think it was proven that there were no irregularities as much as Trump wanted to get out there and say that there were problems and what have you. But you can't treat our democracy like that. Our democracy is important, and it's it's just important that you get out there and make your voice be heard. That's the bottom line. Is you have to have your voice heard. So get out there and get it done. Okay, I've got a couple of things for you to make my case as far as the election is concerned. I've got a couple of videos in the cart, if you will. This will Part of this will make you smile, I guess. But let me put this up here for you.
This is Mark Anthony. Even though some have forgotten, I remember what it was like when Trump was president. I remember what he did and he said about Puerto Rico, about our people. Puerto Rico. I remember after Hurricane Maria devastated our island, Trump blocked billions in relief while thousands died. I remember when our families lacked clean water and electricity, Trump threw paper towels and called Puerto Rico dirty and poor. I was not surprised, because I also remember that he launched his campaign by calling Latinos criminals and rapists. He told us what he'll do. He'll separate children from their families and threaten to use the army to do it. This election goes way beyond political parties. Let's remember what the United States represents and stands for. United, regardless of where we're from. I am Mark Anthony and I remember. That's why I support Kamala Harris for president.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Thank you, Mark Anthony. And, you know, that anybody remember all that? You remember when Hurricane Maria came through and devastated Puerto Rico? I remember that. I remember when Trump was there and throwing paper towels at people and what the hell was that supposed to do? First off, his presence there wasn't necessary. All it did was it got in the way of the people who were trying to clean up after that storm. Well, you know, and you remember Killin and I forgot now the name of the other hurricane that tore through Florida. I forgot the name of it. By the way, if you want to join me here on this, if you want to pop me a comment here, we can talk that way. We don't have the phone line available, unfortunately. But if you're watching live, you can pop a comment in. And you can also feel free to comment on the archived version as well on YouTube. It's going through YouTube. Leave your message here. By all means, I'll get it. I might even reply to it. So by all means, please go ahead and drop me a message there. But all that Trump did during the hurricanes that passed through the southeastern United States is just get in the way. He didn't do anything other than it was just a stunt to try to get voters' attention. Do a flyover by all means. Take a helicopter and fly over and look at the devastation. But you don't need to be on the ground and try to make an election event out of it by any means. So I'm glad we're through all of that. I hope that the people in North Carolina, Western North Carolina, are recovering. And in Florida, I hope they're recovering from all this. It was horrible, but hopefully, FIBA was able to get in there and help you out and do what they possibly could there for you. So here's something for you that you might find just a bit of has a little bit of a humor to it, but it's true. So there are a lot of African American males. It's said that they're still supporting Trump. They have no they deny that Trump has said anything racist and what have you. And this here is very true, and it like I said, there might be a little bit of humor towards it, but give it a look see.
I mean, I just find it funny how before he said he was a Republican, nobody said Donald Trump was racist. You can't point one example where Donald Trump was being racist. Matter of fact, I guarantee you we can't find one. Watch this. Name one time Donald Trump has been racist.
Name one time Trump was racist. Okay, I will. 1973, the Nixon administration sued Trump for refusing to rent to black people. 1980s, Trump's casinos were accused of hiding the black staff when Trump visited. 1989, Trump took out a full-page ad arguing for the death penalty for a group of 5 black men, the Central Park 5, effectively putting a bounty on their heads and plaguing them with a lifetime of death threats. He was sued by the Justice Department for discrimination. 1991, black guys counting my money, I hate it. The only kinds of people I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes every day. I think that the black guy is lazy, and it's probably not his fault because laziness is a trait in blacks. It really is. 1992, Trump's casino was fined $200,000 for transferring black dealers off certain tables to appease racist patrons. 1993, Trump said Native American casinos shouldn't be allowed because they don't look like Indians to me. 2000, Trump ran a series of attack ads against Native American casinos alleging, with no proof, that they were guilty of crimes. 2004, Trump fired a black contestant from The Apprentice for being overeducated. 2010, Trump arguing in favor of segregating Muslims in Lower Manhattan. 2011, birtherism, Trump alleged that Obama was Kenyan based on nothing but skin color. He never apologized nor renounced the claim.
Well, she's still ain't telling me what she's gonna do for me as a black man, so I ain't voting for her.
Well, there you go. And as far as I know, those things that his phone was telling him, in jest there, were true as far as I understand. Trump is look, unless you are a unless you're kissing the ring, if you will, and unless you're kissing the ring, well, he doesn't want anything to do with you, and he has no answer as far as what to do as far as African Americans, other minorities. All he is threatening to do is, if you're not kissing the ring, which I refuse to do, I've already put myself on the list of being an enemy of Trump. I hope he understands it. I hope he keeps a couple of the tweets that I've sent him and tagged him on. I hope he sees that I hope he sees it. I hope he understands that I'm an enemy. I hope that as far as the election goes itself, I hope that Kamala wins. I'll be out there. I'll be out there in the at the polling place. I'll be casting my vote for Kamala. You bet. I believe that there is something there. She's a very smart woman. I think that she's got an idea for what to do as far as this country is concerned. You know, he's talking or she's talking about possibly doing more for people. Quite frank, kind of like me. I'm lucky. Uh, I've got in home care coming in to take care of me, to help take care of me and what have you. And she's looking at doing something like that on a regular basis for seniors or for the disabled, helping people to be able to live on their own independently without having to go to a nursing facility. So I think that it is very important, and I think that she's got some great ideas here. Of course, a lot of it has to do with getting it through Congress. So while you're voting, keep in mind there are congressional elections, Senate, House of Representatives. You know, it helps for you to go to the polls being informed. You know, this isn't just about a vote for president. I have local elections here. Of course, we have the Senate election where a con artist up here in Ohio is running for Senate against Sherrod Brown, and some of the crap that he's come up with in his ads and what have you is trying to punch his ticket into taking Senator Brown's place. And goodness me, that cannot happen. It absolutely cannot happen. So I'm just hoping that everybody I just hope that everybody gets to the polls, or there's still time to. I think there are a few states that have some early voting available, maybe possibly on Monday, or I don't know if they'd be doing it on Sunday or not, or whatever. I doubt it. But it doesn't matter when. You need to get to the polls before November 5th. Get there and get your voice heard. That's all I can tell you. Absolutely. So I can't find it here in the video cart. I did have a video I wanted to show you here. It kind of disappeared on me. There was a Halloween parade in Pennsylvania. I believe it was Western Pennsylvania, in a small and a rural town where there was a float, a little golf cart type float or whatever, pulling a pulling a woman by chain that was supposed to resemble Kamala Harris. Is that what we've really come to in this country? God, I wish I could show that to you. I have to find that for the next time when we all get together here. But that was, I mean, look, I have a sense of humor, but there was nothing funny about that whatsoever. Nothing funny at all about that. I couldn't. I almost couldn't watch that, but we need to understand that when this election is over, we need to kind of settle down a little bit here. I hope if Kamala wins this thing, I hope that Trump can accept the results, not try to do what he did on January 6th. God, that completely scares me. That, God, do we want to go through that again? You know, that's where we've gotten this Trumperism that we have now. You know, the from the insurrection. Goodness, I mean, we can't have that. Be we can't be screaming at each other anymore. Um, Kamala's hoping to bring unity to this country. It doesn't matter, as she put it, it doesn't matter if you voted for her or not. You know, she's going to be the president for all America. Well, I tell you, you sure as hell don't hear Donald Trump say that. You don't. You know, if you didn't vote for him, you're on the enemies list. It sure seems like. So I hope it doesn't come down to that, but it. I really do. That's all I can say. And if you're a Kamala Harris supporter, by all means, you know, express your displeasure. Don't be going to the conspiracy theories and whatnot. I have um, faith in the ability of making sure this election is conducted fairly, uh, regardless of who wins it. I'm not going to, if Trump wins this, then it's something I'll have to accept. But I got something a little funny I want to throw at you here real quick. This is an entertainer and a political guy that makes a few political parodies. Oh, look who came into the couch to join me there. Hi, Diane.
Hi, honey.
You gonna come and watch me flop like a crappie here?
No, I'm not going to watch you flop, but I
might have a thing or two I'd like to add.
Okay. Let me get through this real quick here. Real quick, if you will. This is Brandy Rainbow. If you're an activist, I'm sure you've heard of him. Here is a little ditty he calls Magadoo.
How the hell is this race so close?
Nothing surprises me.
I tell you, I can't sleep nights. I mean, I keep imagining the dark, hate-filled, Orwellian, deep-fried, comb-over fever dream hellscape this country will become if your crazy ass wins. Nothing personal.
We have, I think we're doing very well, yeah.
I mean, it's almost enough for me to break into one of my internationally renowned award-winning song parodies.
I'm not a fan.
A place where nobody wants to go. A country so lame and low, they call it Magadoo. It's lately up and takes you back in time. But if you vote for this bag of dicks, as soon as November 6th, we'll be in Magadoo. Where lies are facts and nothing's true. A million rights dismantled, and there you are with Roseanne. A dark dystopia, absurd extremes to kill your dreams. Magadoo.
They're eating the pets.
Magadoo. Let's not go there. Ooh, Magadoo.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Magadoo.
They're eating the dogs.
Magadoo. Where neo-Nazis shine.
Very fine people.
Fuck you, Magadoo.
They're poisoning the blood of our country.
A crazy nation in disarray, where women don't get a say. They call it Magadoo. Just shut your mouth, you don't get a say. I dump
a garbage can
where everyone hates the queers and wears tampons on their ears, only in Magadoo. The fashion sucks, and all the policies do. An everlasting Trumpian free-for-all with no RuPaul, attacking Mar-a-Lago-ish fantasy that smells like pee.
bunch of childless cat ladies.
Magadoo.
They're eating the dogs.
Magadoo.
They're eating the childless cat lady.
This is Donald Trump's house.
Thanks, Magadoo. In the year of Project 2025, those groups gonna kick their creepy plans into overdrive. No more protections or kindness or joy. And guess who's gonna be their poster boy?
I haven't read it.
In the year of Project 2025, when planet Earth dries up and demigods thrive, no education and nobody's free. They're gonna set us back a century. Whoa. A million rights dismantled, and there you are with Roseanne Barr. An orange hellscape fraught with hypocrisy and Marjorie.
They're only
two genders.
Magadoo.
They're eating the cats.
Magadoo. I wanna go to Magadoo. Not going back. Magadoo. To Magadoo. Let's not go there. There's no clean air in Magadoo. Don't wanna go, girl, just say no to Magadoo.
We're like a garbage can for the world.
I thought that was great.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, well, you're not so hot yourself.
There is the incredibly funny Randy Rainbow, brings up a very good point. man, oh man, living here in Ohio, how this all got brought up about the immigrants that are here from Haiti, here in, I believe it's Western Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Springfield, if I'm not mistaken. In Western Ohio, and it's, the mayor and the governor of Ohio, of the mayor of the town Springfield, said this isn't happening. Nobody's grabbing dogs or cats off the street, and that's so silly. But is the thing to do is to get people who don't know any better to get into this paranoia about things like that happening. I've made some off-color jokes about it myself. Even Diane kind of told me it wasn't all that funny. Diane, you had something on your mind real quick. Tell me.
Yeah, all right. This is probably going to piss some people off, and really, to be perfectly honest, I really don't care.
Sure you do.
All right. Anyway, I've been watching the news a lot, and I've been hearing they're still 2 days away here from the election, and there's still a lot of people that are having trouble making up their mind. And the main reason I'm hearing that they're having trouble making up their mind is they're saying, well, Kamala has not exactly been, they don't understand what her policies are going to be. She hasn't been very clear, blah, blah, blah. They don't know enough about her. First of all, this again is going to piss people off, but I have heard cop-outs in my life for excuses, but this is one of the biggest ones I've ever heard in my life. The fact of the matter is that woman stands up there at every rally and is very blunt and very straightforward with what her policies are going to be, who she is, all of that. Okay? She wants to help people, and she wants to bring things back to the way they should be. And she wants people to be able to make a living wage where they can afford housing, where they can afford to keep a roof over their heads. Now, on the other hand, you've got a candidate who makes threats against Liz Cheney and everybody else, who has sat there and said, oh, well, if you're not voting for me, I'm getting the military after you and I'm going to prosecute you. He has done nothing but threaten the people that are against him or don't agree with him. He has said vile things. He has done things that would put you and me, if we even barely indicated anything like that, especially the threats, in Leavenworth for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, he's getting away with all of this stuff. I'm sick of people calling him President Trump. He is no longer president. He's Mr. Trump.
That's even giving him a...
he is no longer president. And there is a vast difference between the two candidates. And yet still, people are saying, sorry, I just can't make up my mind. I don't know. She's not forthcoming with her policies. I don't know enough about her. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. You have his followers threatening people at the polling places. It's just ridiculous. He's already come out starting that the Democrats are going to be cheating. And look at all the lawsuits the Republicans have tried to file to try to stop people from voting and everything else. The choice can't be any clearer.
No, it really can't.
You either go one way or you go the other.
You really can't.
I'm not afraid to say, hey, I'm voting for Harris. That's all there is to it.
I'm proud to say that I'm voting for Harris.
I am too.
Absolutely.
I am too. The fact of the matter is I'm very proud to be voting for her because she's looking out for everybody. I don't want my rights taken away from me. I don't want my Social Security taken away from me. I don't want my Medicare taken away from me. All that he's going to do if he gets back into office is cater to his rich friends.
Absolutely. Elon Musk.
Yeah. Look who he's going to appoint for health stuff.
Robert Kennedy.
Jr.? The man doesn't brain anymore.
Does he even have that much of a brain?
You know, the man, his wife found his journal and killed herself. She committed suicide. It's all over Twitter.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, so yeah, you want that kind of a man running your health? The fact of the matter, the choice can't be any clearer. So let's cut with this. I can't make up my mind. I'm undecided. Because Trump has made it perfectly clear what he's going to do and brags about it.
The thing of it is what's happening here is that there are people that are so fed up with what Trump's been saying and his actions, and they say that they may be leaning towards Kamala, and they're saying that they don't understand what her policies are and where she plans on taking the country. Take your head out of the sand, folks. She's done a fabulous job of explaining what she wants to do with this country, what she wants to do for the people of this country. For one thing, if you disagree with her, she wants to give you a spot at the table. She wants you to, okay, explain your point. You know, say what you want to say in order to make this country a better place to live. That is the one thing about Kamala Harris, I believe. She's talked about putting Republicans in her cabinet. Uh, I can understand that. There are some issues that need to be addressed. She's the border. Oh, you got an important phone call there. You
I'll
better.
be right back.
So that's Diane, folks. My partner in crime and partner in life. She's come here to help me out a little bit. She got me going here. But if you don't know where Kamala Harris stands on the issues, then you haven't been paying attention. That's all there is to it. So, all right, folks, I'm going to bring this up here real quick. This is one of my favorites. This is Politics Girl, and she's got a couple things to say. Make sure you follow her on social media. Here she is.
I'm just sitting here in New York thinking about all this talk of rounding up political enemies and making an enemies list and controlling what women can do with their own bodies. It just feels so antithetical to American values and American freedoms. I was watching Tim Walz play video games the other day with AOC online, which, by the way, showed me another candidate that would do that. And they were just like talking common sense stuff about how Americans don't want the government all up in their business and don't want the government making decisions for them and don't want the government taking away things that we have just taken for granted for years. I mean, listen to Tim.
At this point in time where they're taking you down reproductive freedoms, denying climate change, saying that, Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, wanting to cut Medicare and wanting to give tax cuts to billionaires. I don't think many of you out there, good for you. If some of you are billionaires listening, good for you. But for the rest of us who are not billionaires, we simply know that when we collectively work together, we can have a good education system, we can have safe communities, we can have clean water and clean air. And I keep coming to this. What you do in your bedroom and who you love, that's your business. What you do at your doctor's office, that's your business. What you read, that's your business. My mantra I've been saying is mind your own damn business. These guys want to mind your business. It's not who are they want to know what you're doing online, what games you're playing, what you're watching. That's not who we are.
Yeah, he's talking to regular Americans. I mean, right now the other party is catering solely to one economic group that most of us don't belong to. The contrast couldn't be more striking. And for those of us who aren't billionaires but still think we're worthwhile, I would say, geez, use your common sense. Look and see that Kamala Harris is fighting for freedom and an economy that works for all of us, while Donald Trump is looking for control and an economy that works for him. At this point, the fact is so obvious, I can't believe we all don't see it. Jeez.
better known as Politics Girl here. Very, very astute young woman who puts it out there. She lets you. There's no surprise where she comes from. You know, it's one thing that I love with Tim Walz. Not because Tim Walz is the governor of Minnesota, where I used to live. Uh, I think he did a great job as governor of Minnesota. Um, if one of the nice things is that if Tim Walz wins the vice presidency, the his lieutenant governor in Minnesota, and I can't think of her name. Damn it! I hate when that happens. Stroke happens, I guess. But anyways, she would wind up being the first Native American governor of the state of Minnesota, and I don't know that there are any other Native American governors in the country here. I could be wrong on that, but I tell you, I think that would be great in itself. But I think that Tim is going to wind up being a great help to Kamala. He was going to be an ambassador for this administration, as he likes to say. If you want to snoop into other people's business, like he likes to say, mind your own damn business. I love that. I love that about him. You know, you get people that want to put themselves in a woman's uterus, trying to tell her, make it illegal, like Texas law. That, geez, you can't even, if you're pregnant, you can't even go to another state to try to find an abortion. It is, it's horrible. It is completely horrible. All right. Hey, listen, folks, I mentioned this parade that they had. I wanted to show you this real quick. I actually found the video on the card here. Just a second.
It was during last night's Halloween parade here on Main Street where that politically themed float turned a lot of heads. It's now getting a lot of attention online. Now the borough's mayor is trying to figure out how it was approved.
It's a hot political season. Probably not something I'd want in a children's parade.
In this video sent to Channel 11 by a viewer, you can see the float that appeared during the Mount Pleasant Halloween parade. You could see people dressed up as Secret Service surrounding a golf cart style vehicle. Riding in the cart is a person wearing a mask of former President Donald Trump. On the top of the vehicle is a fake sniper.
The worst part of it was the fact that there was either a rope or a chain that was attached to the back of the vehicle, and there was a woman who was to resemble Kamala Harris in handcuffs and chained to the back of that vehicle as though they were dragging her.
This is not a good look. This is simulating a lynching down Main Street in Mount Pleasant.
That's Josh Huff. He was at the parade with his wife and said he was immediately stunned seeing that float.
It was dark. It was like, this has been escalated, way beyond what it should be. Somebody in power had to say, hey, yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
How did this get approved? How did this make it through approval to get in the line to be in the parade and then continue on through the whole parade route?
And that is a legitimate question, and I cannot answer that totally.
The mayor tells me she's meeting with the borough manager and council president and might get the solicitor involved.
After it's already done, I'm not sure that there's much we can do except for going forward.
I reached out to Bill Bretz, the Westmoreland County Republican Committee chair. He sent me a statement saying in part, quote, "We certainly don't condone the simulation of political imprisonment or violence in any context, no matter the party affiliation of those involved."
This needs to stop. In this country, this needs to stop.
The parade is sponsored by the Volunteer Fire Department. There was nobody there when I stopped by this afternoon, and my email has not yet been returned. Reporting in Mount Pleasant, Andrew Havranek, Channel 11.
Well, there you go, folks. You know, like I said, I personally, I think I have a pretty good sense of humor there. I think I could be a funny guy. There's nothing funny about dragging somebody behind a vehicle for whatever reason, whatever you're trying to put out there. And the other thing is I'd say, first off, let's keep children out of our politics. This was supposed to be a children's parade. Let's keep children out of our politics. Are we gonna really? Are we gonna get by teaching our children to treat other people like that? That it's okay? I just think there's something seriously wrong with that. Diane, you saw that video in which I'm.
Yeah, I did.
And look, I don't know. I think it's in Western Pennsylvania, if I can tell. That area has a reputation of being a little bit, if you will, redneckish. What do you think? Do you think you found anything humorous about any of that?
No, I didn't really. And, teaching kids, I mean, I'm seeing these videos and I'm seeing these pictures on Twitter where parents have got their kids wearing all the MAGA gear and hating, and even there's some of them, even young little kids, this hate speech coming out of their mouths, with their parents there and everything. It's no kid should be doing that.
No.
Kids should be able to enjoy being kids, not going around hating everything because their parents tell them they should hate this or that or this person or that person or whatever the case may be. And I'm seeing more kids that are like that and less being able to have fun as kids. It's really, really pathetic. I mean, when I see a picture or a video of parents standing there and their 5-year-old's got the MAGA hat on and the whole bit, got the shirt on the same as the parents do, and spouting hate speech, a 5-year-old,
Yeah.
They should be out playing and enjoying being a 5-year-old, not standing at a Trump rally with a camera on them with their parents spouting hate speech that their parents have taught them probably from birth. It's very pathetic. It's very sad. These kids do not need to be growing up with all of this. There is just too much of it going on. I really think there's too much of it going on. And turning a children's parade or anything like that into a political thing, that's really, really, really ticks me off. It's it's like, all right, I'll tell you one thing. Like when Trump went to Arlington, that had nothing to do with honoring anybody. What that had to do with was a photo op to make himself
That's
look
it.
good.
That's
That's
it.
all it was a commercial and a photo op. And you know what's really sad? There's one family of one of the fallen soldiers at one of the graves he went to that actually thinks what he did was wonderful, is standing there and talking about how much he cares.
Well, that's their right. I mean,
I agree, it's their right, but the fact of the matter is, are you that blind that you can't see the only reason? Whenever time has he ever gone to Arlington National Cemetery or even honored or cared? This is a man that has called everybody that's ever gone over to fight for our freedom.
Call them suckers, call them
losers,
Yeah.
every other doggone thing. This is a guy that turned around and got daddy to get one of his paid doctors to say, I'm sorry, my son has bone spurs. He can't be in the service.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is a man that has never known a day of work in his life, has had everything handed to him. This is a man that has bankrupted his own casinos. His own casinos.
Yeah.
They print their own money, for God's sakes. How do you bankrupt a casino?
Absolutely. That's a good question.
I mean, seriously, how the hell do you bankrupt a casino? You know, and he doesn't pay for anything. He couldn't even land at, what was it, in the airport?
In New Mexico.
In New Mexico. Because he owed them, what, a couple $100,000 from, what, 2019 or something like that? And what was he doing? Had his own little trash truck made up and had the driver drive around in circles on the Tamarack while he sat there with an orange vest on, looked like a fat traffic cone, by the way.
Maybe a traffic barrel.
Oh, traffic barrels would look better. Anyway, you know, and this is the guy again. You who are undecided, you see all this, you hear all this in his rallies when they're televised and everything, and you still can't make up your mind. Seriously, his own wife won't even appear with him anywhere unless he pays her to do it, and I don't know how the hell he's doing that if he's broke. This is the guy that's selling a pair of gold spray painted kids high top shoes for what, $400? His own little Bible for $60. How much were those made in China, where he's always putting them down and everything should be made in America? But he wants to buy one of those watches for what? Was it $400,000 or something? I don't remember. I know
I've seen those.
I don't remember. But you know, this is a guy who is nothing but a snake oil salesman dressed up in a suit.
Well, he wants to be our president again.
Yeah, he wants to be our president again. In the meantime, he's ripping you off now, laughing at you behind your backs. Even stood there at one or two of his rallies and said, "Well, I really don't care about you. All I want your vote." He actually said that.
Yeah.
All I want is your vote. And you still, President Biden makes a comment about how, you know, about MAGAs being garbage. And what did y'all do? Y'all went out, got yourself some garbage bags, cut a couple holes in them, and wearing them, saying Trump garbage.
Well, and here's the thing with that is, look, I don't think, you know, in the spirit of Kamala Harris, you know, that she probably kind of cringed a little bit when Joe said that.
Right.
But I can't necessarily blame him.
Well,
let's take a look at, you know, when you know, well, you remember how we got the whole "Let's Go Brandon" thing. That's because they were back there at some NASCAR event, you know, bunch of rednecks there screaming, "Fuck Joe Biden, fuck Joe Biden."
I remember.
And, you know, the thing is, they have been nothing but rude and caustic to the president. And, you know, I don't believe the whole thing that, you know, you need to treat, you know, the president with, you know, you don't, you know, we're not talking about a king here or anything like that. But for you go to something like a NASCAR event or some other sporting event or whatever, acting like an ass, and not and you wonder why Biden said what he did. You can't necessarily blame him.
Well, no, I don't either. I mean, I will agree with say one thing. The timing wasn't exactly the best.
No.
You know, that's one thing I will say. The timing wasn't exactly the best. But the fact of the matter is, I agree with you. I don't blame him for saying what he's saying because they have shown nothing but disrespect for him. The man is the president of the United States. He is still the president of the United States until January, okay? And the fact of the matter is he's done a lot of good for this country, okay? And that's all there is to it. Not to mention the fact that maybe he hasn't done it as fast as a lot of people wanted him to do it, but it's not like you can wave a magic wand and take 4 years of total, and I'm going to use the F-bomb here, fuck-ups, and lying and cheating and everything else that went on when Trump was in office. You can't turn around, take a magic wand, and undo, with the wave of a magic wand, 4 years of that.
Well, let's look at, it was a lot of it was the COVID recovery and whatnot.
That's right.
Gas prices. Talk about gas prices. Well, okay, during the COVID crisis, nobody was going anywhere, and gas prices were cheap.
Yeah.
I remember, hell, for a while you were getting gas for under $1 a gallon for a little bit of time.
Right, because like you said, people weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And all this stuff about, prices were down when Trump was in office during COVID. That's a bunch of bull. First of all, during COVID, there were a lot of things that coincidentally you couldn't get your hands on. And I remember going into the grocery store.
Toilet paper.
Yeah, toilet paper.
People were fighting over toilet paper. Yeah.
You walk down the aisle, there's a sign there. 1 package per customer, please. Bottled water, only two cases per customer, please. And there were limits on what they had. Prices were a lot higher because people were getting gouged because of the middleman or whoever is responsible for that was, hey, things are going to be scarce and people really need this, so we're going to jack up the prices because we still want to make our money. So not only could you not get stuff, when you could get it, there were so many limits. Every aisle I went up and down in the grocery store, you had a limit of how much you could buy.
Yeah.
And if you had a large family, that made it really, really hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So and prices were higher. The only thing that was lower were the gas prices because nobody was going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were trying to entice people to go out. In the meantime, what's Trump saying? Oh, well, it's not a pandemic. You don't have to wear masks. You can do whatever you want to do. And if it wasn't that, well, inject yourself with bleach.
Yeah, there you go.
Inject yourself with bleach?
Drink a little bit of Clorox.
Drink. Have a glass of Clorox on the rocks for me. It's all in your imagination.
Exactly.
And this, and you're turning around and some of you are saying, oh, it was better 4 years ago. Get your head out of your ass. All right?
Absolutely.
Get your head out of your ass. Prices, at the grocery store, I've found a few things that have gone up. But I don't blame that on the
That has nothing to has nothing to do
with that. You know what rising prices are? The reason for that, it's called a middleman. The trucking companies that ship the stuff and everything, if their gas prices go up, they're going to pass that on.
Exactly.
And that's one reason for that. It's all called the middleman. Mm-hmm. He wants to make his money.
Well, supply and demand,
it's supply and demand. That's exactly what it is. It's supply and demand. It has nothing to do with President Biden or anybody else. All right? Yeah. And as far as this stuff with the border, hey, there was a bill that was there. Even the Border Patrol really liked it. It was supported by everybody. But because Trump turned around and called his buddies and said, no, I don't want you to pass it because that'll give Biden credit for it, and I want credit for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And, and that's all there is to it. So a good bill that would have kept things under control got killed because of that.
Yeah.
That's another thing I want to know. Why is Trump even being allowed to say so in anything in government? He is no longer president. He has nothing to do with it.
I want to know why is he representing this country with Benjamin Netanyahu, in Israel?
Yeah, why is he talking to all these people? The fact of the matter is that should not be allowed. He is not the president. He is nothing. He was voted out of office fair and square.
Exactly.
He is absolutely nothing. He is Joe Public. That's all he is. Trying to get back in again. He's not the billionaire that he claims that he is. He is a convicted felon. He owes everybody in the world money. And good luck for them being able to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and again, some of you people still can't make up your mind. It's right there in front of your face. He is blatantly out there at his rallies, telling you all this stuff. What he's going to do, what he isn't going to do. Does it sound like he cares about you? Does he sound like he's going to protect you? Somebody that threatens Liz Cheney, somebody that goes around and tells you, if you don't vote for me, I'm going to have the military come after you and I'm going to prosecute you?
Yeah. Project 2025.
Yeah.
The whole prospect of that scares the hell out of me.
That's just it. He's telling you if you don't vote for him, he's going to have you arrested.
Yep.
Is that really somebody? Are you that deaf and blind that you still think that's somebody that cares about you? Give you another thing. Take a look at some of the YouTube stuff. Even the people he pays to be there are walking out on him in the middle of his speeches. Seriously. And they ain't going out for a smoke either. There was one guy on YouTube that actually interviewed a couple of people that were at his rallies that were leaving. You know what they said? They said, hey, all we have to do is show up, take a picture of ourselves, hang around for about 10 minutes, take a picture of ourselves, basically to prove we were there. We get paid. We can walk out the door after 10 minutes. And several people told him that. I don't know how many videos I've seen on Twitter of people actually walking out in the middle of his rallies. He's all, well, I have 50,000 people. Really? Well, the camera panning things don't say so. They don't say so.
Absolutely not.
And telling everybody, oh, well, I've got more people in my rallies than Martin Luther King Jr. Excuse me? The other day he was saying, what did he say? He was the father of fertility. He actually said that at a rally. He's the father of fertility. Yeah, he's the father of fertility, all right, when it comes to spreading the bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
That's, I find it every time I watch the news and they sit there and they say people are still undecided. I'm sitting here. Our 2-year-old great niece could make up her mind and see it.
Well, I tell you, they call it Trump derangement syndrome, is what they are saying. And hey, there's Ed. He says he asks if you're my co-host.
Yes, I am in some point.
There you go. Hey, it's nice to have another voice. It's nice to have somebody here. Her and I agree on a lot of things. We honestly do.
Oh God, we talk about everything, though.
Oh yes, we really do. Absolutely.
It's just
it's nice. Who knows? This may be coming more often for all we know.
Yeah, I haven't. He calls me his little Spitfire. Well, now you know why.
Exactly.
But, it's nice. I'm going to tell you, it's nice to be able to have somebody that I can talk to about things like this. And even if we disagree, the fact of the matter is we respect each other's opinions, whether we disagree.
I expect your opinion when you agree with me. So there you go.
But, that's just it. And, what John was saying earlier about Kamala saying, hey, she would invite Republicans, hey, sit down, let's talk about it. What's on your mind?
Let's make our country better.
Yeah, because that's the way it should be. Okay? The Republican Party, really, when you think about it, doesn't exist anymore. It's the Trump Party.
Yeah, that's very true. He's hijacked the Republican Party.
It's the Trump Party. It's not the Republican Party anymore. And the fact of the matter is, it's like it's this war going on. And you can still have a Democrat and a Republican in the same room. They may disagree about policy or whatever the case may be. But you can sit there and you can work it out and you can talk about, okay, well, what's on your mind? Okay, well, what's on your mind? Okay, let's talk about this and work this out. You may have some points I haven't thought about. I may have some points you haven't thought about, but we can work some kind of a compromise. Might take a little while, might not. But the fact of the matter is, some kind of a compromise can be worked out. But we have got such a chasm here because of Donald Trump of hate. It's almost impossible to get over it. And what Kamala's trying to do is she gets in office, she's going to try to narrow that so that everybody can work together. That's all she wants.
Yep, you're absolutely
that's all
right.
she wants. She wants to make life better for everybody. She wants to make it so everybody can work together, because I'm going to sound like the old lady that I am, but the fact of the matter is that's the way it used to be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the way it used to be.
I remember when I'm old enough to remember when politics, people didn't agree with everything, but the politics of it were civil.
My parents, my mother was a Republican, my father was a Democrat. My mother was a Republican because she said at the time that, Republicans were good for small business. We had a small business. My parents owned their own business for over 30 years. Okay? Dad had his points, and they disagreed on things, granted, but they didn't fight. They didn't divorce over it, for God's sakes. And this is absolutely and positively ridiculous, because the parties can work together. And it's just, this is absolutely ridiculous. But you've got, again, all this hate going on, and all of this. And
here's the thing you got to realize is that as an individual, I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to take people. If I'm a liberal, I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm a liberal. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not going to be bullied because I'm a liberal. I don't care, quite frankly. Like they talking about maybe having people out in front of the polling places interfering with the election. Hell, she's going to be pushing me in my wheelchair. I guarantee you that somebody tries to stand in our way while we're trying to.
honey, I'm going to mow them down.
I'm going to wind up being the lawnmower, and she's going to wind up pushing it. That's just the way it is.
That's just it. Yeah, that's just it. Because everybody's got a right to vote. They've got a right to vote for whoever they want to vote for. Okay? If I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to prejudge you, if you want to vote for Trump, I'm not going to prejudge you on that. I'm expressing my opinion on how I feel, just like you would have a right to express your opinion on how you feel. You know, whether we agree or not, that fact of the matter is I have enough respect for you that I will do that. But I sure as heck am not going to stand in front of you, and I'm not going to yell and scream at you, and I'm not going to stop you from voting and tell you, threaten your family or anything like that if you don't vote for the candidate I think you should vote for.
Exactly.
Trump's been running around screaming election interference. Guess what? That's what that is. Election interference.
Yep.
You go in, you cast your vote, you leave, you go home, wherever you're going to go or whatever, and be done with it.
Yeah, watch the results. Ed put up something here. He wants Kamala to help him pick football games. I've seen the standings in that, Ed. You need all the help you can get. Just so you know. But by the way, Ed, I gotta know. I thought you were supposed to be there rigging polling or voting machines here. Where I thought you were doing. That's what they told me you were doing before you. I don't know what's going on. Am I going to have a freshly jimmied voting machine? So if I made a mistake and vote for Trump, it kicks out a Kamala vote. I just want to know what's all going on. Hey, listen, I just wanted to put this out here real quick. Most of you know that Ed and I both come from the transportation industry, taxi driver, Uber driver, whatever. As you may know, there are a lot of immigrants, Muslims, and the like that have come into the transportation industry. And look at what happened to a driver here in I shouldn't say here. I don't know where the heck this was where this happened. But check this out.
Video shows him being pepper sprayed by a passenger just as the light turned green last Wednesday on Lexington Avenue near 65th Street. He unbuckled himself and jumped out, but the car was still moving, so he hopped back in. The woman continues to spray him as eventually he puts the car in park.
This woman was indicted on with assault charges on this driver. She was indicted. She said she did it because he was brown. He was brown. He was praying. I guess apparently he was praying while he was at a stoplight. I don't know that I'd have done that. And well, for one thing, I don't pray to begin with. Regardless of whatever the religion may be. I'm being told. Ed said that happened in New York City last in the springtime in New York City, and I don't know that I'd have been there praying. I understand that, but he was waiting at a stoplight. It wasn't anything that he was doing that brought why that was it wasn't necessary. And he pepper sprayed, or she pepper sprayed the driver. I guarantee you, the first time she'd have done that to me, it would have been stinging in my face. Granted, I get it. I popped her in the chops. I'm sorry. Self defense. That's the thing here, folks. You know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and get ready and get out of here. I had a good time doing this. Thank you for staying awake with me while we did this. Thank you, Ed, for coming in here and adding a couple of comments and whatnot. Thanks to Diane for coming in and getting involved. But I think it's time to go bye-bye here. So in the meantime, I'm going to hit the bricks. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you again here. Hopefully we'll see you again the next time when Ed and Bill aren't preoccupied. So until then, just keep one thing in mind. Remember, boys and girls, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. See ya.